Please excuse me for leaving you for a few minutes, but Minister Farrakhan came in and insisted that I go back with him to the holding room. Are you ready? Assalamu alaikum. Ladies and gentlemen, it gives us great pleasure to bring to you our global ambassador, minister with a message, who will take us back to Washington, D.C. on October 14 through the 16 for the Million More March movement. The Georgia Association of Black Elected Officials would like to express our profound gratitude for Minister Farrakhan's love and appreciation for the work that we do. 10 years ago, he asked me to be a part of the Million Man March, to help coordinate the march with Reverend Hosea Williams and Reverend Timothy McDonald, Reverend James Orange, and others. And we went to Washington and proudly were able to assemble 2 million black men between the Washington and Lincoln monuments that weekend, October 16, 1995. He has asked me to chair the Million Man March Committee for Georgia again, and I will do that, and I need your help. But what we're going to do now is prepare to give him as much time as he needs to articulate the message. He has a profound message. He has a heavy schedule traveling around the world, really, literally the world, touching North America and South America and Europe and Africa and Asia and Australia and probably even the Arctic Circle. This man is our gift. He is truly a blessing for us. We need him. He is a man of his time. We are going to now call on our Honorable Minister, the Most Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, to come now, and he will take us to our luncheon, which will begin at 12:30 noon in the Student Ballroom Center as we pay tribute to the family of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., which he will be a part of. At this time, please welcome our leader, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan.
In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, we give him praise and thanks for his goodness and his mercy to the members of the human family, that whenever any part of the human family strays from the path of his favor, before he punishes, he always raises a prophet or a messenger from among that people and gives that messenger what is called divine revelation, that with that divine revelation he may guide those who have strayed back to his straight path, back to his favor. And usually when he sends a prophet or a messenger, in the divine revelation that he gives is also a ruling scepter, that those who were lost, those who were weak, those who went down, somehow God always finds a way to utilize their suffering as a means of their elevation to serve others. And this is why, as a Muslim, And I say the word Muslim not to separate myself from Christians or Jews or other members of religious communities, but as a Muslim, we believe that we should honor and respect all of the prophets, make no distinction among them, and that we should believe in all of the scriptures brought by the prophets. So as a Muslim, I believe in the Torah brought by Moses, and I am a student of the Old Testament. I believe in the gospel brought by Jesus, and I am a student of the New Testament. And I believe in the Holy Quran brought by Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and I am a student of the Holy Quran. I have as a teacher a man from Georgia, the greatest man that I have ever met in my life, a man that I believe God raised up among us. Because if any people on the earth have strayed from the straight path of God, it is we. If any people are so foolish that they're self-destructive, it is we. If there are any people on the earth that are lost, and by the word lost we mean so messed up that we're called incorrigible, so removed that we're called irredeemable, wicked, hopeless. No wonder God said he would leave the 99 that were at home and go and seek to save that which was lost. I thank God for his coming. And I thank him for searching among the lost for a brother, one that loved us, that would sacrifice his life for us. And he gave him a powerful message for us. And in that message is a ruling scepter, that the lost and the bottom rail, he would bring it to the top. And the tail would no more be the tail, but he would make it the head. This is the Lord's doing, and it is marvelous in our eyes. And those who study prophecy of our former slave masters and their children, they know your future. And some of them are frightened that if you rise, you would do to them what they have delighted in doing to you. They judge us by their own nature, but they don't know our hearts. But God has tried us in the furnace of affliction to make us not only a servant of our people, but a servant of all of humanity. So I thank you for receiving me, and I greet all of you with the greeting words of peace as I thank Allah for the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Assalamu alaikum. That's the intro. Why a Millions More movement? Aren't you satisfied, Farrakhan, that the Million Man March was a great success, and you asked for 1 million and nearly 2 million showed up, and some said, well, yeah, so what? It was a feel-good day, but what happened since? Very good question. What was on my mind, since I was the one that God used to call it, then I'm the one to determine whether it was successful or failure, not you. I just want to let that record stand. Since you didn't call it, it wasn't on your mind. It was on my mind and in my heart. So if I called it, then you need to ask me, what was my objective? And when I tell you that the objective was finished and we were successful, then you can add to it your madness. But you are kind of funny people. You like to judge something that you had nothing to do with. So I think I ought to set the record kind of straight right now. While you were sleeping, I was working. When you didn't have the masses of black people on your mind, they were always on my mind. And that's what brought me here today at my own expense. Because you are on my mind. And you are in my heart. And when I travel, I don't come by myself. My soldiers travel with me. At their expense. But my inner circle, I pay for them. I bring my cook because I don't know who's in the kitchen. At my expense. And say, why are you saying that? Because you are more valuable than any money that I spend. Now, what I got to take you back in order to take you forward. I said, why a Millions More movement? Well, the question then should be, since the Million Man March was the foundation of the Million More movement, why a Million Man March? You see, some of us, God gives insight. Some of us, God gives vision. And it's really due to the quality, not of your education, but the quality of your heart. God has never sent a PhD to deliver his people. Because whoever gave you your doctorate is your master. And whoever gave you your license to preach is your master. But when God sent a prophet, he licenses him. Do you understand what I'm saying? Now you may say, are you knocking my doctorate degree? No, no, no. I'm not knocking that. I honor that. I respect that. But I know who gave it to you. And I know when you get it, you ain't creating nothing. You out there looking for a job. You creating nothing. I say you're out there looking for a job. That's why the white man brought your father here in the first place, to give him a job, and nobody was unemployed during slavery. But he don't have jobs for you today. So if you don't know how to create one for yourself or for your people, you feel a sense of hopelessness and loss. That's why I'm here today. Why a Million Man March? What did you have in mind? I saw 30 years ago or more a newspaper article, but sitting up under all of this is an experience that I don't even want to talk about now because I don't have time to get into it. But it's an experience that's more than a vision. Right. And at a future time, maybe God will bless me to talk to you or guide me to talk to you more about the real foundation of all that I'm doing. It's based on a live experience that appeared like a vision. You know, a man of God that's been anointed and appointed by God to do something, if he's really from God, he don't want the job. Because God has to show him his power so that he will face the enemy fearless. So Isaiah says, who will believe our report? To whom is the arm of the Lord revealed? See, when you're young and you're frightened, you look at your daddy and he does this. And when you see the power in his arm, he can put you on the top of the stairs and say, jump, baby, I got it. And at first, the little baby is a little nervous because he still don't know how strong the arm is. Then he jumps. And when you catch him and he knows he's not going to fall, he run back up and want to jump again. And he'll keep jumping till you get tired. Say, all right. Well, before a man can do a job for God in Georgia, in Alabama, in Mississippi, in Louisiana, in Texas, or in New York or California, to do a job for black people in the midst of those who have oppressed us, somebody got to see the arm of God, because we live among those who have slaughtered our leaders, especially those that don't come from them. You understand me? So for me to stand like I stand and speak with the authority that I speak with, fearing no man, because as long as I am with God and he's with me, I am the majority. So if God wants me to deliver a message for him, he has to show me his ability to protect me from the evil planning of my enemies that are black, that are white, that are Jews, that are Gentiles, that are Christians, that are Muslims, that are agnostics. Don't make no difference. I have enemies, but I have two great friends. So they make my enemies my footstool. And if you live and I live, you'll see my enemies bowing down at my feet. Remember what I said in Georgia today. Either I am or I am not. And if I am, you all better leave me alone. If I'm not, it don't make no difference. Your plans against me will be successful, but ain't nothing you planned against me been successful yet. So here I am, an unfurrowed brow, 72 years old, looking like some of you that are much younger than I am. So I will tell the enemy like Paul, when they were discussing Paul. And when they were discussing Paul, They wanted to attack him. But somebody said, look, if his work be of men, you don't have to worry, it'll come to a naught. But if his work is of God and we attack him, we will be fighting against God and we will come to naught. So in other words, leave him alone and let us see. But I know my enemies can't leave me alone. They can't help themselves. So keep on doing the best you can. But I'm warning you, I will be the winner in the end. I don't give a damn who comes against me. Now, yeah, if the government comes against me, it will be the loser. See, you think you got power, but I know the power. You think you looking for terrorists. If we catch a terrorist that look like he want to plant a bomb under any bridge, anywhere, that will kill innocent people, we will wipe him out and then turn him over to you. We're not going to let no terrorists do nothing in America. We let nobody make a nuisance on or near our post. That's our general order. So it ain't no Arab terrorists you got to watch out for. You got to watch out for the one that creates tsunamis. And you can't jail him. You got to watch out for the one that sends hurricanes, tornadoes, floods, hailstone, wind. See, you haven't seen nothing yet. Nobody terrorizes like God. So them little cheap fellas over there, you can leave them cheap fellas over there alone. Let them do what they think they're going to do. But America, no, 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 no. We're not having that. So we are aligned with authorities to stop any terrorists. But me and you got to hold our hand. Hurricane coming. I'm going to help you board up your window. You help me board up mine, because we ain't got no control over that. When the flood waters rise and the levee can't hold it and it busts, I know who's behind that, but we can't arrest him. So the Holy Quran says it like this: whenever Allah sends a messenger, he seizes the people with distress and affliction, that they might humble themselves. So all of you got to think, is he a messenger in our midst from God? If he is, he has two things in his mouth: good news and warning. Enough said on that point. Now, why did the Million Man March come off? 30 years ago, I read business community, business advisors. You know, they have these think tanks in America, and they send out advisories that later become policy. Well, there was an advisory a little over 30 years ago that said that rich people should not invest in the inner cities, because we had just come through the riots and rebellions of the 60s and 70s, and they felt that the inner cities were going to implode. So a businessman would not be wise investing in an area where there's violence. There has to be peace in order to promote business. Remember in the riots in the 40s? When the Chinese had their stores in Harlem and the riots hit and the Chinese said, "Me nigga too"? I'm not being insulting to you, but they did have a sign like that. Because business, look, if I can identify with you and you raising hell, look, then leave my business alone. But some of us are so crazy, we burn everything. I mean, it's really silly. Burn up your own community. Then when the anger dies down, you look, you got nothing. So business started leaving the inner cities, going to the suburbs. Business started leaving the suburbs, going to foreign cheap labor markets, leaving the poor white, the Hispanic, and the black in the inner cities in the lurch. White people more resourceful than us. So if there's no job for them, they go somewhere and create one. The Hispanic is more resourceful than you. Something wrong with us. Well, Farrakhan, now come on now, don't talk to us like, no. You're not inferior by nature, but we are inferior by circumstance. Irish people came here, we've been here. Irish came. People didn't like the Irish. So they united. Now they the police, they the mayor, they the senator. One even became president. And we still singing. We shall overcome. Italians came. They weren't liked. They got in their neighborhood, they united. They used America and the freedoms in America to advance themselves. The Polish did that. The Greeks did that. The Germans did that. The Europeans did that. But that's not just them. The Chinese did it. The Koreans did it. The Vietnamese did it. The Haitians came. And they did it. So you got to ask yourself, something wrong here? I've been here longer than all these people. $750 billion come through my hands every year, but I'm a consumer. I went to college to become a bigger consumer. I buy bigger cars, live in bigger homes, have bigger bills that I can't seem to pay. My credit card, I went to college to live on credit. I got a degree, it's a BS degree. No, Bachelor of Science, of course. But brothers and sisters, we have not taken advantage of what America offers. And you can't say it's because you're black. Because dark people from other parts of the world come and you see them open up a business, you see them trying to do business. But you go anywhere in the world, you go in the Caribbean, some of you go down there for vacation, right? Well, I'll talk for myself. I sometimes will take a little vacation in Jamaica, Trinidad, or Barbados, or someplace like that. You know the accent. But when I go, I see the people doing business, Chinese, Arab, Indian, white. A black man has a business here, a business there. It's like a person that have a tooth here and a tooth there. When they smile, don't it look bad? Well, a business here and a business there can't make us as a people look good. Now, as a people, now I want you to look at how simple this is. Here's a black bird. And here's a white bird. They're two different kind of birds. But the black bird don't know how to get a worm. So he's in line waiting for the white bird to give the black bird a worm. Something wrong with that picture. Because everything that God creates, he puts on it and in it the nature to do something for itself. All creatures have to get for themselves, but us. So if the white man don't give us education, we stay dumb. If he don't build a hospital, we stay sick. If he don't provide us with a job, we're unemployed. It's a shame, man. I went downtown. I just graduated from Savannah State. I knew I was more qualified than that white fellow who just got out of the 8th grade, but they gave him the job. Racist, that's what they are. See how silly you sound. The white man looking out for his own. What's wrong with you? See, that's why I'm here to talk to Georgia legislators, black mayors, black judges, black professionals. And I'm asking you a question. What are you doing for yourself and your people to help your people to be better than what they are? So when the businesses moved out of the inner cities, here we were, left. Well, I saw on the campus, I just got in the door. I just came on the campus, naval training. Saw an airplane up there. I said, damn. See, a young man, full of energy. He's aggressive. You know how all little children want to be fighters. I know I was stupid at one time too. I wanted to learn, throw that shoulder up, fire that jab, turn, fire that. I wanted to learn how to do those things. Because in the hood, you got to know how to thump or talk a good game. But in the days when I was growing up, they had little switchblade. And all of us went to the store, found me press a little button and the blade come out. Oh, that was nice. But you didn't ever want to use it. So if a fight came, the last thing you reach for is what's in your pocket. You got your butt whipped, well, that was the end of that. You all became friends after that. Young men have aggressive tendencies. Girls, you playing double dutch and playing with the ball, the little dolls and having a little this and that. But boys, the Quran saying the man is not like the female. And that seems so elementary, my dear Watson, on the surface. But a man is different. So when you see young men growing, you got to have something to do to channel the aggression. In finer white neighborhoods, when the boy gets 11, 12, when he's in the Jewish faith, he's bar mitzvot or bat mitzvot for the girls. They got something for them. They go to a Jewish school where they learn something about their culture, their history. That's how they survive in a hostile environment. You go to the Greeks, they have a church, they have a school. You go to the white Baptists, they have a church, they have a school. We built churches. Let's have church, but no school. So you send your children to what they call, quote unquote, the public school. Okay, we'll get to that later. But my point is, if a young man does not have a police athletic league, something to channel the aggression. Come on, we'll go to the boxing club. Here's a softball. We'll play softball. We'll play baseball. Let's play basketball and divide the neighborhood up into teams, and we all cheer for our team. It's football. It's something where you channel the aggression. But in the hood, when the business go out, the money go out. And young people are there with nothing to do, and they not joining the army. Right now, the volunteer army is down. So while you're in high school raising hell, somebody's there to kind of say, well, look, we got something good for you. See, you can go to college. We'll pay for your college, and we'll even give you a bonus. You know what I mean? Come this way. All this is to get you either to join the armed forces, where you can be all that you can never be. So they got a soldier. Now you're in Iraq. I don't understand this. The National Guard should guard the nation. That's what the National Guard is for. The reserves stand by. The regular army does the fighting. But in Iraq, it's the National Guard. Well, who's guarding the nation while the National Guard is in Iraq? The National Guard is in Afghanistan. Something is wrong with this picture. And if you get your head out of your crotch, you will see that something is happening to America. And I'm talking now to white people as well as black people. You are losing your country. 30 years ago, a little over that, I was at a convention of black sociologists. I was the main speaker, and I had read in the newspaper that the birth rate of blacks was very high. We have a gun that really shoots. And it seemed like the target we always hit. And so we have a lot of babies. So birth control, they bring to you. Take the pill. I'll put something in, and don't worry, it'll send a signal. But you don't see the after effect. But they don't want to see no more black babies. So between 21 and 35, everybody's doing something to stop from having babies. But they put so much hormones in the chicken, in the pork, in the beef, in the lambs, so the children are eating these hormones. So at 9 years old, the little girl has a period. She got a Barbie doll in one hand, a mini sanitary napkin in the other, her breasts bigger than her mama. 10 and 11, her hips is gone. Scared of mama. Mama got to go to work, but the black man ain't got no job. So he watching your daughter coming home from school. See, 9, 10, 11, 12, pregnant now. No such thing as marriage anymore. What marriage is for fools? You don't make no commitment with all these women and these few men. Hell no, we don't make a commitment. We just have fun. So we are so degenerate today that we're having baby, but nobody wants to accept the responsibility. So the responsibility is on the state. Responsibility is on the government. So white folks in the legislature, white folks in Congress saying, damn, you know, this is a shame. They don't say this to your face, but they say, isn't there something y'all can do? These children are children having babies out of wedlock. Yeah, there's a scripture in the Bible, though, white folks, that says, you reap what you sow. You didn't allow us to marry for 300 years when we were slaves. You sent us into our women because we were studs to produce more slaves for you. Well, you were breaking down our morals as you were doing this. You were making us disrespect the value of the womb. You were making us see pleasure more than responsibility. So today it's all about pleasure. It's not about responsibility. So you're creating hate for yourself in high places. I'm coming to something. I'm coming to something. You were having babies, but white people, they were at zero population growth. For every white person that was born, one died. So you had a smaller white youth population, a greater white elderly population, and that's when gray power and AARP came into business. But on the other hand, you had many children growing up, many young men growing up, no way to stave off their aggressive tendencies. They weren't joining the armed forces, those that didn't. They weren't going to church. They in the street praying on your young daughter, not praying for her, praying on her. And then most of you, my sisters, have bad experience with men. Just look at our condition. I'm going to say this as a predicate for the Million Man March. You married. We spent all this money going down the aisle to lie. Ask somebody to come and buy a gift. I buy you an iron. Somebody buy you the ironing board. Somebody do this. 6 months later, we don't know where the hell the iron is. Oh yeah, she hit him in the head with the iron. Now she's doing time. He's dead. This is madness going on in all our communities. And there are white folk watching.
Teach us, teach us, teach us.
Then out of the ghetto condition.
Yes.
Now watch this. You're in a lot of pain. See, and people got to do something when they're in pain. You have a headache? Oh, come on, here. Bring her Advil. Bring him a bear. But damn, my headache is worse than that. Bring me a Vicodin. Bring me a Percocet. My headache worse than that. In comes drugs.
Oh, yes.
Crack cocaine. Now, when you experience crack, some of you in the Georgia legislature high, you know what I'm talking about. Some of you elected officials in so damn much pain, when you get out, you can't help but get drunk. What am I talking about? See, you the leaders and you can't handle this thing. Preachers snorting coke. Am I lying? So we're all in pain. Corporate pain, legislative pain, sheriff pain, woman pain because she can't find a man. She just dropped that one yesterday in a new romance. He turned out to be the same thing that she just left. So either she find another woman to go with, or she's in McDonald's loving it. So when we go to church, those of us that go to church, we want to find relief. So Jesus becomes to some our pain pill. It ain't that we're going to follow him. We just need relief. So when I see my sisters throw their hands up in the air, when the great Bishop T.D. Jakes is preaching, Lord, and that man can preach. Creflo Dollar and Bishop Eddie Long. Oh man, we got some preachers out of this world. And if they weren't preaching, I don't know what we would do. Because that preaching helps us get through one more day of pain. Then the songs, the gospel songs, talking about Jesus. See, Saturday night, you in the disco grinding. Sunday morning, hit up the drum, brother. See, Jesus didn't travel with no musicians. The Word made music because the Word made sense. But today, crank up the band. Now the ghost is in the house. Woo! It helps you. It helps you with your pain. But when you leave the church, you ain't got no power to change the environment. Am I right? So you come out of the church filled with the Spirit and run into your gang-banging brother who got a weapon that can't shoot straight because it's a reject. You know they ain't giving you something that good. You shoot the bullet here, go over there and kill somebody you didn't even intend. And the madness continues. Mothers bringing their babies to their final resting place. Grandmamas who expected to die and leave something for the grandchildren. Now the grandmama's taking care of their children's babies because the children is on crack, or the girl done gone to penitentiary for something. Look at the condition. That's reality, legislators. That's reality, sheriff. That's reality, mayor. So when you feel good about your position, it's like a doctor feeling good that he's a doctor, but all his patients are dying. How can you feel good about having a position that's supposed to represent power, and the power does not enable you to empower your people to come up out of their condition? Gee, I didn't know I was going this way, but I'm going to finish this.
Take your time. Take your time.
But my brothers and sisters, look. When the jobs left, the drugs and the guns came in, and our young people had nothing to do, no job, but there was this aggressive tendency. I call it social engineering. Because in order for these young black men not to be trouble to white people, we have to make them give trouble to themselves. I read that when the Berlin Wall came down, the CIA agents that were working in Eastern Europe were brought back to America to work among the gangs. What was their job? So you have the Crips and the Bloods. You got territory, but you don't own it. You ain't thinking about owning the buildings. You just want to own the street. So you got your gun. Your buddy down the street got his gun. Now follow this. Then we start shooting. They're buried dead on that side. They're buried dead on this side. Sometimes I know that they're good policemen. I know that to me, all policemen are heroes. Firemen too. Because when they leave their house, they never know that they're going to come back. And to send a young white policeman into the hood, he know nothing about our life, and he see the madness going on, he has to shoot first and never ask a question, because he shot and the cat is dead. I can't question him. But I had to do it, man, because I got to get home to my family. And I'm among some savages. And what is a savage? Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught us that a savage is a person that has lost the knowledge of themselves and is living the life of a beast. And in the book of Revelation, it talks about the people had the mark of the beast in their forehead and the mark of the beast in their hands. And that is the condition of the inner cities. Now moving to the suburbs. Now into hip hop. Talking out of our pain. Conscious hip hop started. KRS-One, Big Daddy Kane, Public Enemy. Somebody watching say, the children ain't going to school, but they're listening to this rap stuff. And if the rap can teach them their history, they wake up, learn to love themselves, they may put the gun down, or they may point it in another direction. So let's remove conscious rap and develop gangster rap. Now you're going to glorify the gun in the hood. Look at it for what it is. It's social engineering. You ain't no trouble for white people, but you're about to be. Because you're a burden that they can't carry no more. You didn't hear me. Did you really hear me? You're becoming a burden because you're refusing to do something for yourself, and you're laying on them, and they don't have no more jobs for their own people, much less yours. So the country is filled with dissatisfaction. Look at President Bush's acceptance rate plummeting. See? Well, if they don't like him, damn, you and I don't stand a chance. I'm almost where I want to be. Now, I saw, this is your brother now, I saw this going on. And it bothered me when I saw the statistics that said if the birth rate of blacks continued unabated, by the year 2050, we would be the majority population, or at least equal to whites. Well, now, if you're a racist looking at those demographics,
All right.
damn, 2050 in Georgia, 2050, the way them Negroes is multiplying, 2050, one man, one vote, 2050, they'll take over. The niggas will take over. Now, I said it, but you all know what you're saying in private. So I'm only bringing out your private conversation around the dinner table. The niggas is going to take over. But I'm trying to make it palatable. Because, you know, hard truth, you got to have some humor in it. Because what I'm about to say is good for all of us, whether you're white, you're black, Hispanic, in the end. See, if you understand what's happening in your country, you can do something about it. Now watch this. I'm almost where I want to be. Now, the minute they thought like this, it meant young blacks either had to join the army or we had to devise a way to kill them off. But we can't do it like we did it in the Congo years ago. We can't do it like we did it in the South with mass lynchings. We'll lynch a few here and there. But we got to make them the killer of themselves. Now, whenever a policeman shoot a black person or one dies in detention, that's why we know what's happening in Guantanamo. Because we know what happened to us when we were in your custody. And we hadn't even been accused of a crime. Sometime the family got to come and identify a body, and then you tell them he hung himself. But you took his shoelaces and took his belt, but somehow he happened to get one. Y'all whipped our behind royally when we were in detention. And you a Christian, we Christian. Damn, that's worse. You teaching us about the love of Jesus Christ and kicking our behind. In Jesus' name. So when we look and see this white man up there on the cross, I said, well, man, no wonder we ain't getting no slack here. But maybe he's with his brother who's doing this to us. So the young people, you can't get them in the church. Oh, you got a choir, you got a hip hop choir, they'll be in that, but the church ain't in them. They can sing the gospel songs, but the gospel not in them. They leave the gospel singing and smoke a reefer, leave the gospel singing, snort some coke, leave the gospel singing, do something freakish. So I mean, you know, it's okay, I mean, but you got to look at yourself now. Teach us. Because the white man is not the enemy to stop you today if you don't get your own foot out your own way. He can't stop you if you refuse to stop yourself. Now I'm going to show you what I mean in just a minute. See, but it ain't white people, it's your fear. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, we drank the milk of fear from our mother's breasts. See, when during slavery, she pregnant with us, they lynch somebody, make everybody come and look. Burn them right here in Savannah. Kill them, and you got to come look. Why are you terrified? See, that's a chemical reaction coming from the fear of the brain. It produces a chemical reaction that go right into the breast, into the milk. So the baby drinks the milk of fear. Now he's scratching and he ain't itching. White folk come around, his conversation stop. And he playing you white people. Yes, sir. Yeah. What you want, boss? Yes, sir. I'll be right there, sir. Yes, sir. See, you all stupid as hell. You like that because you feel you should be the master because you white. These is your little black slaves. So act like it, nigga. So the black people put the game on.
Put it on.
Ben won't even look at you sometime. Yes, sir. I'll do it right now, sir. But I'm telling you, goddamn it, stand up like a man and stand up like a man. Don't bend your back no more. If you're a man, then be a man. Oh, did you hear that cuss word? Oh my God, he's not a minister. I'm going to write that right down. Yeah, I said, God damn it. You know what God means, force and power. Damn it means stop it. God damn it, stop it. We're going all the way back to Step and Fetch It now. They call it sitcoms. I'll get to that in a minute. Now look, a movie come out, Colors. Did you see the movie Colors? Here's some of us that have been victimized because of our color. Now some of us wear red, the wrong color if you blue. Some of us wear blue. Now we're killing each other because the brother over here don't have on the right color.
Right. Teachers.
That's madness. But you don't manufacture guns. How did you get them? Who brought them in? They're so easy to get right now. Just like when I was young, we knew where to go to get a reefer. I went a few times. Well, I have to keep it real. I'm not like one of these presidents. Yes, but I didn't inhale. Yes, I did inhale. And I got high. But I didn't like it. I wanted to be in control of myself. I didn't like being out of control. So I threw the reefer down. I got drunk a few times. But every time I got drunk and laid down, the bed started turning. And I ended up throwing up. Then my mother knew what I was doing because you could smell it coming up. Then I got my butt beat and all of that, so I leave liquor alone. But when they saw the possibility of us outnumbering them, getting the right to vote, then that means you can become politically powerful without ever becoming like a revolutionary to the point where you would pick up a gun and fight them. You didn't have to do that just by your numbers. And if your numbers ever became wise as they became great in numbers, then they feared that you would take the country. Now, white folk are different. You know, when they see something like that, they don't talk about it, they do something about it. So if you notice your population doing this, Hispanic population doing this, and then they tell you, see, you are now the second largest minority in the country. And you feel, damn, see these Mexicans taking my place. I used to be the largest. Now they put two poor people to fighting each other. So out on the West Coast, you find the Mexican gangs fighting the black gangs fighting the Mexican gangs. So we just went out there and were blessed to get the hardest gangs that have never been to the table to sit down. And they made peace. But I warned them that among them are agents. Among us, they're agents. Among you in the legislature, they're agents. People that just come among you, listen to what you say and go back and report. You wonder how come all your little plans are known. If they don't have a snitch in there, they bug the hell out your office. They got all these kind of devices, man. Got cameras on you. You can't even go to the toilet. They watch you. God knows what you do in the bed. They got that too. And when you look like you're about to make trouble, they say, Bill Cosby, come in here a minute. Here's a man that groped a woman, they say, 30 years ago. It took that long for her nervous system to process where the hand was. 30 years later, she got the, oh, damn! Bill Cosby's a good man. I understand Michael Dyson. I love him. He's my brother. I love Bill Cosby. He's my brother too. He's older than Mike Dyson. He's a senior. He's paid some dues. And we're all evolving. He may have said at one time that he's not a spokesperson for the hurt of his people. You know, don't bring that to me. He speaks through a different medium. He's the Cosbys. He's trying to show us with functional families rather than dysfunctional families. And he has some control over the script, and so he writes things in. He has Malcolm's picture behind him in some of the scenes. He's trying to do his part where he is, but he don't want nobody to make him a spokesperson, because then you hurt his reality. He got to play ball with who he playing ball with in order to stay on the TV, make the money so he can funnel some money to Fisk and funnel some money to the historically black colleges and universities. So I don't fault any of us like that. He was speaking to black people like I'm speaking to you, but the press is here. I don't know what they're going to write tomorrow. I haven't got no control over your pen, so you're going to write what you planning to write. Farrakhan came and he cussed. Farrakhan came. Farrakhan this, Farrakhan, he's a real anti-something. I want the press to know I have never been an anti-Semite. I don't hate the Jewish people. I never have. I'm an admirer of the Jewish people because they lead in every field of human endeavor. Without Jewish science and Jewish technology, Jewish medicine, I mean, they've advanced their fields. I don't have any problem with that. Here's what I have a problem with. I have a problem with exercise of control and limits. I don't believe that nobody should limit me but God and my own ability. So some of these legislators, I got to say it, brothers, even some preachers, some leaders, some educators, they're very careful how they speak. They're not free. You're free to write whatever you want to write about anybody in your paper. But I'm not free to criticize. I pay a price for that. If I criticize Jews, I'm anti-Semitic. But the Jews are not sacrosanct that they're above critical analysis. Don't get upset with me because I see you. It ain't about hate. It's about the freedom of a people that cannot rise if you're sitting on them. And you cannot rise if you allow somebody to sit on you and determine how high you can go. You got to stop that. And when you rise up and say, we're not going for this, then it'll end. And that's why some of you, here come the dean. I have to stop and recognize my parent. He's a little older than me, but he's been struggling for a long time. And even though he's in somewhat retirement, he can't retire because our condition is too grave. Now, where was I? We were having a great time, Dr. Lowry. Huh? Yeah, see, I'm not against the Jewish people. I want you to know that. I have never, ever, ever done anything to hinder a Jewish person from getting a job or advancing in the society.
Yes.
I've never picketed a Jewish store.
All right.
When we don't have halal meat, I go to the kosher meat market and I spend my money with you.
All right.
I've never asked nobody to boycott a Jewish store. Check my record. We have never, ever put any graffiti on a synagogue because our religion teaches us to protect any house where God's name is remembered. You don't find me there. What did I do wrong? Where did I go wrong? See, black folk, you go wrong if you challenge white people in their wrong. Now, that's something a black man is not supposed to do, but not me. See, I am born, listen to me good. I am born to check you. Listen to me. You have had prophets among you that point out you're wrong. Some of them you beat, some of them you kill, some of them you listen to. I'm here to help you return to where God promised you. But you can't go back in arrogance. Won't be no promised land for you in arrogance. If you wrong, don't claim to be a Jew. You can't claim to be a Christian and not Christ-like. You can't claim to be a Muslim and not be in submission to the will of God. These are names that we hide dirt behind. I have never hated Jewish people. I just don't like how sometimes you've used your ruling scepter. And remember this. You are going to be judged by how you use what God gave you. So am I. And the day of judgment, we're living in it right now, where the stones will rise up and cry out against you. So I'm like a warner telling you what's coming. I ain't got there yet. You can pay attention or you can let it alone. But I'm not a hater. I love. But I love my people first and foremost. Don't blame me. I'm in love with black people. And I'm not apologizing for loving my people. But, any people that are suffering, I have to speak. Any people that are deprived, I have to speak. But my passion, first and foremost, is my people. I went to the movie Colors. And that movie, whether you know it or not, went all over the world.
Yes, sir.
I sat down with Cedric the Entertainer and Ice Cube, and we talked very nicely, frankly, but I love our brothers, and I'm not harsh with them, but I try to guide and correct. See, the barbershop is where we hold court. White folk don't come in black barbershops. But in the barbershop, it looked like we're free to say things. If they don't like Farrakhan, they'll say it. They don't like Dr. King, they say it in the barbershop. But there's always somebody in the shop that got intelligence to check ignorance. I didn't follow Dr. King, but I've grown to love that man and understand the weight of the assignment that God gave him. And for anybody in the barber shop to knock Rosa Parks or to knock Dr. King and think that the movie don't have a life. 30 years ago, we watching movies and everybody in it is dead, but turn on TNT. And the dead are brought back to life. 30 years from now, 40 years from now, Cedric the Entertainer may be dead, Ice Cube may be dead, you and I may be dead. But if somebody said, F this one, or Rosa Parks didn't do nothing, then a holiday for Dr. King can be reversed coming up out of our mouth if the climate in those days is as it's becoming now. So you have to be careful what you say and what you do, because it has a life beyond where you are. Do you follow what I'm saying? So I have to make us conscious, because we have eyes but we really don't see. We have ears but we really have not heard. We have tongues that are speaking foolishness and not the wisdom of God. All right. So when I saw all this madness going, then I saw Boys in the Hood. That went all over the world. Then I saw Menace to Society. Menace 2. TWO. They never told you who Menace 1 was. But Menace 2 was aping Menace 1. So I decided, man, I got to go in all the major cities and ask us to stop the killing, because we are inviting the forces of destruction into our communities to answer the cry of the mothers whose children are dying at the hands of our own people. So I went into the cities and I preached, stop the killing, and thousands came out. Then I decided I have to speak to black men. One of my African friends said, Brother Farrakhan, please don't do that, because they'll think you're raising an army. I said, no, I'm not raising an army, but I have to talk to men, because they're going to be the object of destruction. So I started in New York at the 369th Armory on 42nd Street and 142nd and 5th Avenue. 12,000 black men came. Women were coming, bringing their children and putting them in to hear their brother. I spoke to them, and out of my mouth came a word that I hadn't even thought of. I want to take 1 million men to Washington. I didn't know what I was saying. But sometimes God will use you to say things, and in that sense I was speaking in tongues because I didn't know what I was saying, but it came out. Now, when a man speaks a word, he has to work to make the word bond. That's the way I was taught. I left New York. I spoke in Philly. Over 10,000 men came out. I spoke in Washington. 14,000 men. I came to Atlanta. In the old place where the Atlanta Hawks, at the Omni, 19,000 men up in there. This is before the Million Man March now. I went to Houston, 35,000 men. I went to New Orleans, 10,000. I went to Dallas, 10,000. I went to LA. I went to Chicago, Detroit, Cleveland. Thousands of men. I talked to pastors. Help, let's get our men. Let's save our men. It ain't about what faith we have. The name of our faith is salvation. So when I called for the million, nearly 2 came. What did I have in my heart? You didn't ask me. So you're going to judge whether it was successful or not? Stay out of it. Because it wasn't about you. God gave me the call. Because my heart was bleeding for young black men. And I wanted to change the way the whole world looked at us in one day. And I had it on a Monday.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Wyatt T. Walker said, oh man, these Muslims marching. We the marchers, they need to come and ask us. So I went and I talked to Reverend Wyatt T. Walker. He said, you having it on a Saturday. Right. No, you ain't having it on a Saturday. We had all our marches on Saturday. I said, I'm having this one on a Monday. That's right. So they said, man, this cat is crazy. But see, I read the scripture. Come on. See, if you got to make a reasonable sacrifice, present your body so that God will see you doing something, then he can give you his spirit and forgive you. They say the minister asking for a day of atonement. Jesus paid it all. You know, you all need to shut up. See, you keep driving that kind of crap up out of your mouth because you're envious of your brother. So you want to fight me. You ain't got no guts to fight your enemy. But you got a lot of balls to stand up and fight your brother. So many of my pastor brothers got in their pulpits. Farrakhan is the Antichrist. Farrakhan is the devil. What have I done, brothers and sisters, that you would say I'm the Antichrist? When I preach Christ as good as the best of what you got, and sometime I won't be arrogant, but the truth is, sometime I preach him better than all of you because I think I know him better. Because I'm the man that's walking in his footsteps, and that's why the world hates me and loves you. If this world loves you, you're not following Jesus Christ. This world did not love Dr. King. Because he was following.
Right. That's right.
He took his ministry to the streets. He took his ministry to the weak and the poor and the lost and the locked out. And he took his ministry to the rich and the powerful, not with weapons. He never approached you like that.
That's right. That's right.
But you beat him. You jailed him. And you ultimately killed him. Now you can name streets after him. We killed a nigger that was a threat to us, but we'll name a boulevard for him. But ain't nobody gonna follow him. We just gonna name boulevards.
That's right.
And that's pacification for silly black people.
Teach me. That's all right, leader.
Malcolm X, when he died in 1965, if you go to the files of the ADL, who was spying on all our leaders, Malcolm was the leading black anti-Semite.
That's right.
What happened? And he now is on a stamp. Have you forgiven him? What happened? That Warner Brothers would spend $30 million.
Come on.
And 30 pieces again.
Right.
To make a hero out of Malcolm.
Right.
Not that he don't deserve it.
Come on.
But what was your motive? See, I see what you do. That's why you don't like me. Because God has made me aware of subtleties. See, you can't come around me with that smooth kind of talk and I don't see you. You may fool my brothers and my sisters, but I see you. That's why you don't like me. I'm not a hater.
No, sir.
I just don't like what some of you are doing. Let me give you an example. These hip-hop artists,
Yes, sir.
they started off good.
Right.
Conscious rap. Like conscious gospel. Conscious poetry.
All right.
Conscious plays.
Yes.
But then something went wrong. The glorification of the gun killed the pig. How you gonna say that about killing police and don't think for every action there's an equal and opposite reaction? We were losing it big time. See, and I saw what was coming.
Yes, sir.
So when the Million Man March took place, they had tanks underground.
Yes, sir.
See, the government knew exactly who was there because they had us on the government satellite.
Yes.
The park department don't run no satellite, but they knew it was more than 400,000. They couldn't bear to say that it was the largest gathering in the history of America, the most peaceful of any gathering. Nobody got arrested in the park. The mall was cleaner than at any other time in any other gathering because I had gone throughout the nation
Spiritual. Yes, sir.
telling the brothers, don't bring no weapons up in there. Because if you come right, God will show you that his spirit is more powerful than your weapon. See, I'm following scripture now. Not by might nor by power, but by my spirit. And I knew if they came right on a Monday, gave up their jobs, gave up their school, went in their homes, those that stayed home and tried to reconcile differences. See, Jesus paid it all right. But what did he pay? He paid the price to open the way for all humanity to reclaim our original position with God. But if he paid for your sins, then you feel, well, what the hell? He paid for mine. I'll just keep on doing this thing. But if Jesus, the same Jesus that paid, is seen in the revelation coming again, but he ain't coming to teach. Said he had a sword in his hand, and the sword was dripping with blood, and he came at the head of 10,000 angels, and he warned us about a judgment. See, if he paid it all, there's no need for a judgment. But we're living in the judgment of men and nations. On that one day, the press came, bless your heart. They got their positions. The niggas is going to explode today, you know. You know how they are. They're cut-ups. These men don't like each other. Let's get a good position to catch the slaughter. Tanks was underground. Soldiers, everybody ready. President Clinton, I gotta go. I gotta go. I gotta go right now. Close down the Congress. Close down the Supreme Court. Close down city government. Get out of town. Because the niggas is going to act up and we got something for them. And here was the press. From early morning, 5 o'clock, when the prayer was called, they were there. And they saw the brothers coming. Philadelphia in the hood, in the house. New York in the house. Atlanta in the house. Savannah in the house. Mississippi in the house. They were coming from everywhere. Fathers that hadn't seen their sons and sons that hadn't seen their fathers saw them that day. Bishop Brookins and Jesse Jackson came up in my room. And the bishop said, "What you gonna do with the money?" Well, that's a legitimate question. But they didn't ask that for the march in 63 or 83. Ain't nobody giving no report on nothing. But I promised I'll have an auditing firm audit everything, and I'll give a report on every dollar.
Yes, sir.
Did I do it?
Yes, sir. And it's on the internet right now.
My word is my bond. You are not going to punk me. I live for integrity. And if I tell you that I never called Judaism a gutter religion, take it to the bank, because I ain't afraid of a damn one of you. If I said it, I'll stand up and say, yeah, I said it. What the hell are you going to do about it? But I never said it.
Say what you want to say. Go ahead.
And for 21 years, you can't even write about me. If I do something good, yes, but he's the man they call Judaism a gutter religion. I never mentioned the name Judaism, but here's what I said, and I stand on what I said. I said that state called Israel,
Yes, sir.
has not had any peace at the time in 40 years. And she will not have any peace. It's 50 some years later. Still ain't got no peace. I said she can't have peace where there's lying and stealing and murder and using God's name as a shield for your dirty religion. Your religion ain't what you profess. Your religion is your practice. You can't call me telling me you for Jesus and hang me the next day and I can't get justice. You practicing a dirty religion. You call yourself a jihadist, strap a bomb on yourself and walk in among innocent people and set it off. You're practicing a dirty religion. And whether you're a Jew, a Christian, or a Muslim, all of us have fallen short of the glory of God. And we use religion to protect our behinds from the crap that we do in the name of Abraham, Moses, Jesus, the prophets, and Muhammad. But you can't use Jesus to cover your behind today. You say he's coming back. I know he's coming back.
Come on.
But will he receive us on his return? I said to the church in Los Angeles the other day, I said, you're the bride, but you've been whoring. I'm in love with you.
That's it. That's
I'm not speaking out of hate.
That's right.
I want us to come clean. I want us to correct ourselves. I got some dirt on me, but I got to wash. He said, wash and be clean. I mean, all of us got to wash. But the book said if we washed in the blood of the Lamb, our garment would come clean and it would be white as snow. But how you going to be the bride of Christ? The bridegroom coming and you whoring. You in bed with the rulers of the world. You can't say, thus saith the Lord, because you getting a buttered biscuit and a piece of fried chicken at the back door of your master. You whoring. And the garment of the church is dirty. You say you a Muslim? The garment of the mosque is dirty. You say you a Jew? The garment of the synagogue is dirty. Because if you as a Jew are not living by the laws, statutes, and commandments of God, you have violated your covenant relationship with God. And so you're in danger of judgment. That's why I'm talking to you like this. Because there's some who say they are Jews and they are not. How could you be a Jew and promote what is against the law? Talk back to me. Who gonna say it? You can't say it if you're in bed with money. But I can say it because you ain't giving me a damn thing. And I ain't asking you for nothing either. And if you want to cut off my blessings, you better get a ladder that reaches to heaven. But I don't think you can go that high. He prepared a table for me in the midst of my enemies. My cup runneth over because the Lord is my shepherd. I think I'm almost finished. What time is it?
10 to 12.
I know this is rough, but I want to finish. I want to finish. I come to you today not to repeat a Million Man March. That's over and done with. But I just left Los Angeles. Audience, house full. I said, I'm looking at a funeral parlor.
Exactly right.
I said, what do you mean, Farrakhan? I said, because if we don't stop the violence, the CIA, the FBI, the DEA, the ATF, the sheriff, and the police are planning to take back the streets. They're passing a law in Congress. If it passes, they're calling gangbangers terrorists. And they're going to round them up and put them in detention camps without the benefit of lawyers and call them enemy combatants. And some of us that's in leadership are in agreement with it. And they're in agreement, some of them, not out of hate for you, but they want to see the violence stopped. That's what it is. You in the hood with your little pop gun. Just enough to get you in trouble, see? The Palestinians got their AK-47s. What does Israel have? Armored personnel carriers, tanks, helicopter gunships, F-16s. They've been training down in Fort Hood for house-to-house combat. They wasn't planning for Iraq. They're planning for you. You can take it or let it alone. But I believe within 90 days you'll see a move made. When they drop bombs, the innocent die. When they fire rockets down in Ramallah or Hebron or wherever the Palestinians are, they may get somebody that they want, but there's so many innocent that die. You are no match for the arms that you're going to face. We used to be able to meet in armories. We can't meet in armories anymore because the armories are armed camps. Armored personnel carriers in there. And in every major city, there's been highway construction going on, so that the tanks can roll on what is called defense highways and come into the inner cities. See, you have this feeling of security. Watch how fast it evaporates when they ring your town with tanks. Can nothing come in and can nothing go out. They shut off the water, shut off the gas. Don't let a food truck in. Let not your flight be in winter. That's your Bible too. So since you delight in killing each other, whom God has come to save, I'm telling you, he's angry. See, and some of us as Muslims or Christians or Jews, we think because we know something about God, we got his scripture, we go to church, synagogue, and mosque, and go through our prayers and do our little rituals. But I warned the Muslims. I was over in the Maldives, and 22 nations are there, and I'm a deputy leader of these 22 nations in the World Islamic People's Leadership.
That's right.
And I was telling them, do you think that because you say, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah, that God is going to spare your behind? And it means I bear witness there's no God but God, and Muhammad is his messenger. So you think that's going to save you? I said, I want you to remember the East. When God brought Genghis out of Mongolia, and the hordes came out of the East and killed Muslims, Christians, and Jews, and he called himself the scourge of God. Sacked the cities of learning, crushed Baghdad.
Give him the history. Give him the history.
So I said, why do you think Bush is there? And we out here screaming Bush shouldn't be there. He's there. He's there for a reason. He may not fully know the reason. That's right. That's right. Because you have a plan and God has a plan. And he makes your plan serve his plan. The Muslim world needs reform. No question about that. But so do you. So God will use one against another. And he's locked in there now. Bush ain't coming out. They got him. See, and when they talked to Saddam Hussein the other day, he told him, you don't know these people. And evidently you don't, man. Somebody strap a bomb on themselves. Strap a bomb. Get in a car loaded with bombs and you know you out of here. And with joy, just drive. Hey, brother, we ain't never seen nothing like that before. I went over there and I talked to the Muslim leaders. And I said, come together and speak to President Bush with one voice and we can stop this. But you see, when you're a brother and you don't like your brother, then the enemy can use one brother against the other. So the whole Muslim world is upset. And so I call for millions more movement. Not a march, a movement. Why do I call for that? Because the time is out for us to depend on a benevolent president to do limited things for us when we must unite, pool our resources intellectually and financially to change our own reality. I'm calling scholars. That's why I'm talking to the elected officials. You may not have been smart when you got there, but you can't be there and not become smart. You have wisdom. Your people are being destroyed, not because they're black, but they're destroyed for the lack of knowledge. So I'm calling the learned to come and help the masses. There's a program to do that. To the whites that are here, the press that is here, I want to say this to you in closing. This is the greatest country that has ever been in the last 6,000 years. Every member of the human family lives inside these borders, 3,000 by 2,000 square miles. We just don't know how to live together. There's something inherently wrong in the way we've been taught. See, forget about the label. Christianity is another form of white supremacy. Not Jesus' teaching. The way the teaching is used. So is Islam. So is Judaism. Look at the three great religions and see how do black people fit in this equation. You go in the world of Islam, we the servants. You go in the world of Christianity, we the servants. You go in the world of Judaism, we at the bottom. Call yourself a communist, still at the bottom. Call yourself a socialist, still at the bottom.
Capitalist.
Call yourself a capitalist, you know you still. But listen to me in conclusion. I know there's a dinner over there, and I got to go, then I got to run to the airport, and I'm soaking wet already. But my family, listen. Something is happening to this country. And it's not an accident. It is by design. There's the dumbing down of the American people. Media controlled by corporations. Radio, television control, newspapers. I don't care what you write. If it's good about the minister, you may want to say something nice, but you got to take it somewhere. Well, I will just add this and take that away. Well, this is a guy that called Judaism a gutter religion, and he's hateful, but I don't know why the Georgia state legislators would invite such a terrible man to be their speaker. Have they already said it? Yeah, they'll say it again. But answer the question, have I been that terrible? Now look at this, but look at the schools. People leaving high school and can't read. 30% of those graduating are functional illiterates. Think about this. America, the greatest nation on earth, is way down in education among the developed nations of the world, and in science and mathematics. It's the Asians that are at the top in America, from India, from Pakistan, from China, from Korea. After them, then come the whites. After them, long way down, then come the blacks. And even further down, then come the Hispanic. How can you hold on to your world as a white person? And you're too dumb to hold on to it. Something is wrong with this picture. Now I close, you all giving trouble to white people because this cultural degeneracy has their children. So when we talking about rap and shake that booty, we on MTV with a thong in our behind, shaking our backside. Damn. And then you got Snoop Dogg and white girls gone wild. Damn, if you're a decent white person, how could you go along with this? They're not. Look on the walls of the homes of white people. It ain't them. They ain't got Bush on the wall. They don't have Cheney on the wall. In fact, if you ask them who the president is, they might not know. But you ask them who is 50 Cent. Ask them who is Eminem. Ask them who's Kanye West. Ask them who's the Outkast. Ask them who's Ludacris. Ask them who's Snoop Dogg. They know. Their pictures on the wall. White folk got a problem with that. Because now the little white children got their little head up in these little funny looking things. Their children got their pants hanging off their behinds. And they learning language. Yo, baby, what up with you? Their parents are trying to teach them how to parse sentences. This is the subject, this is the predicate, this is the prepositional clause, modifying this and that. And you got them in this house walking with their drawers. There was a time when a woman wouldn't even put her underwear on the clothesline because her drawers were personal. A mother don't let her children see her underwear. I know mine didn't, but I know she had washed them all right, but I didn't know where she dried them because we didn't have no dryer in that thing. But today, your drawers is on display and you like it. Give me something that show the thong. Got your crotch in somebody's face. see through this, see through that, breasts out, dress cut so low, when the babies see you, they start crying thinking it's feeding time. And the baby that's crying is a grown man trying to get to your breast. Hey, look, brothers and sisters, we have to save the country in which we live. At least try. And there's a way to do it without violence. There's a way to do it without bloodshed. But the dialogue has to go on the highest level. But programs have to be on the bottom level. And the learned must be called to work for the poor. Martin King, my brother, got killed organizing a peaceful march in Memphis and organizing the poor to march on Washington and speaking against an unjust war. Yes. Martin King is my brother. I'm walking now in those dangerous shoes because I am, without a doubt, the most outspoken voice now. See, because I don't have no strings attached. We have a convention and Coors Beer don't give us nothing. And we don't ask them for nothing. Nike throwing these little pittances around, AT&T and General Motors. See, that's just crumbs from the master's table. I ain't about no damn crumbs. When you say, Lord, give us this day our daily crumbs, so that's why there's a millions more movement, because it's going to take movement. Now, forget the fact that I say I'm a Muslim and God used me to call. I'm a Christian too. What do you mean, Farrakhan? How am I a Christian? To be a Christian means to be crystallized into oneness with God, following the example of Jesus Christ. Now, he said, follow me, walk after me. Now, watch my walk. Does the government like me? No, sir. Did Rome like Jesus? No, sir. Did the rabbis of that day love Jesus? No, sir. Did the religious leaders of that day back Jesus? No, sir. Ooh. Do they love me today? No, sir. How about the Christian scholars? Can they walk with me? It's like I got AIDS. Yeah. They come to me like Nicodemus. I see you at night. But I can't walk with you in the day, Farrakhan. You hate me, but I've given you no reason to. When blind people come to me, spiritually blind, they go away seeing. When deaf people come to me, they go away hearing. See, you may not have wanted to hear me today, but I think you did. See, and once you hear, your tongue begin to speak what you heard. See, what are my good works? Do you stone me? I robbed nobody. I've raped nobody's daughter. I've laid in the bed with nobody's wife. Why you hate me? What have I done? See, it's because those in power dislike me, and they got control of the media, and they can say about me that which is not true. Then you grow to hate me because you learn how to read, and they control what you read. But when you meet me, well, wait a minute, this guy is not quite what I've been reading about. Then I pick up my violin and they hear me play. How could a man hate and play like that? You're all confused over me. Now there are pastors that have been called by President Bush. Under Karl Rove and Condoleezza Rice.
True story. True story.
He wants them not to join me in a millions more movement. Why? Why not? Why won't you join me to save our people when you're the pastor? I'm not trying to take nothing from you. You want the platform? You can have it. It ain't about platform. It's about perform for the salvation of our people. How come you can't join me, but you can join Bush? He bombing people with shock and awe. I ain't killed nobody. Why you can't walk with me?
Walk with Bush. Tell it.
Because your master don't want you to walk with me. I understand that, but then you got to look at where you are in the book. Because we are all in the book, you know. I'm following Jesus. I'm not Jesus. But I love him so much that I'll accept the cross. Because he said, if any man would be my disciple, he have to deny himself. I was in show business making good money. I denied myself, gave up that, not knowing what the future would be, to study the Word of God. My life has been one sacrifice after another, and I'm willing to give it all up, even my life. I don't care nothing about living. I've seen the sunrise.
Go ahead, Doctor.
I've seen the sunset. I've seen the clouds form, and I've seen the mountain ranges. I've flown over oceans, and I've ridden down lakes and rivers, and I've watched nature. I've seen it all.
Go ahead.
I don't need to live another day to see more. I live to die to see you free, and people that are oppressed up on their feet, making the world a better place for our children and our grandchildren to live in. Thank you for listening, and may God bless you.
Ladies and gentlemen, give him another round of applause. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan.
Thank you all. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's create the Millions More movement. And you'll find educational advantage because we're going to call the educators. We need a new educational paradigm. We need a new spiritual and moral paradigm. We need a new political paradigm. And when little people get together, big people will listen.
Ladies and gentlemen, please remain where you are. Let's let the minister leave because he's got to change and get ready for the luncheon.